Go.
Hello, I decided to do a video because so many people have asked me about taxes and different things like that. I've been a bookkeeper for over 15 years and I wanted to share a few things that I've learned. I'm not a tax professional. I don't do a whole lot of taxes for people, but I did want to tell you a few things that I've learned about taxes and bookkeeping, especially for the self-employed individual. And the first thing I want to remind you is to keep up with your mileage. That's the most important thing that will help you on your taxes. If you make over $600, you do have to file an income tax form as a self-employed individual. But there are many things that you can count off for this to save on taxes, because if you do not, you're responsible for the whole taxable amount, and we don't want to pay all of that. But I wanted to let you know of a few things that you can count off on your taxes. And if you'll keep these items together throughout the year, which yes, it would be complicated, but it will save you at the end of the year, and you'll be thankful that you did. First off is the mileage. For 2022, the year that we're working on right now, the mileage was 58.5 cents from January to June. For some reason they decided to make it complicated this year, so then it split up 6 months. So 58.5 cents January to June per mile, and then from July to December it was 62.5 cents. So what that means is, in common language, and the easiest way to take care of this is that any trip that you take to a client's home, that counts as your mileage. Now remember, you got to times it by 2 because you're going there and you're coming back. So most of the time you're going to start either at the Pro 93 office or in your home. So wherever you started from, you can calculate the mileage to the individual home that you're going to work each and every day that you go. You can do this by using an app called Mile IQ. It's $59.99 a year, but we'll get into it later, but you can count that off on your taxes too if you want to do that. It's a simple app that you can put in. I'm a little cheap, so I just get me a calendar, something like this. The Dollar Tree has them, Walmart has them, from $1.25 now to $10, $15, just a cheap thing. And guess what? This is tax deductible too, because you're using it for your business. You can also, if you have something, you can print out a calendar. And I wanted to show you kind of what I do in this generic form. What I do is to help me keep it up. If you do jobs outside of where you would get a 1099, like from Pro 93 or whatever, if you're doing a paint job for 5 or 6 different people throughout the year other than Pro 93, you can also do this. What I do is I'll put the name, generically Smith. So I went to Smith's house on February the 6th. It was 6 miles there, so I multiplied it by 2 and got my 12 miles. So I put my 12 miles right here, and they gave me $50 for my services. I went on the 9th to the Browns' home. It was 72 miles back and forth. I put 72 here, and they gave me $200 for my services. And then on the 15th, I went to the home of the Joneses. It was 27 miles to and from, and they gave me $100. So I keep this in my calendar and keep up with it each and every month. So that way, at the end of the month, I can put my mileage and how much I made. And also, I would have my 1099 from Pro 93 also. So if you don't have mileage for this day, you can, or if you don't have if it's a Pro 93 job, you could put like Smith and 12 miles and not worry about the $50 there, because it's automatically going to be on your 1099. But if you don't get a 1099 for certain jobs, to pay taxes on that, you could just put your mileage and either your income from that individual person, or just leave it blank for that Pro job. You could put Pro 93 on there or whatever, but keep your mileage up every single day, because that adds up to quite a bit. Because there again, you're going to add this mileage up, have it at the bottom, and from July to December it was 62.5 cents. So you're going to automatically multiply your total mileage times 62.5, and that would be how much you could deduct off each month for your mileage. It's very important to do this. Of course, you are probably not a bookkeeper, but if you could keep as much information on your paperwork, then it'll be easier when your tax preparer is ready to do your taxes. So keep up with your mileage one way or the other. You can write it down in a little notebook if you want to, your day, your, how many miles you traveled that day. If you want to put the name, you can. You could just specifically put it, like I said, in a notebook, or just keep it in your calendar, and that way you'll know the exact dates. The next thing is you can also count off what you've paid on your health insurance. Now, this does not count if your spouse has insurance available for you at their job. But if you nor your spouse are eligible for any kind of health insurance, then you can go to the marketplace, the healthcare marketplace, or you can pay your own insurance health coverage through an insurance provider. What I do in my household, we have chosen to use the marketplace as part of our insurance. And what we do is we've got a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, and those premiums each month are deductible. We have to pay premiums because of the amount that we make, and we do not have children in our household. You may or may not even have to pay a premium. But if you do have to pay a premium from the marketplace, that is tax deductible. They will send you a 1095-A at the end of the year. And those premiums that you've paid, that total can also be taken to your tax preparer, and it'll be taken off on your taxes, which is a great help. One thing that's very important about the marketplace, it wants you to estimate how much you will make for the next year to figure out those premiums. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. The best way to do it is to guesstimate about how much you think you'll make. You can use last year's income to help you with that. If you make too much money and don't pay enough, they're going to charge you at the end of the month along with your taxes. They're going to add that on to your taxes if you've estimated too much or too little. It depends on which way it goes. But the best way to do it is to keep the marketplace informed about how much you're making, and they will adjust your premium accordingly. But make sure that if you do pay for your own health care insurance, bring that with you for your taxes. Your mileage and your health care insurance is very, very important for your tax deductible items as a self-employed individual. And you are considered self-employed since you work for Pro 93 because you are a general or a contractor. Another thing is receipts for items that you purchase. Now, most of us received a little receipt from Dennis when we paid maybe for our t-shirts or hats or whatever. That is tax deductible. That's why Dennis gave you this receipt, so that you can also claim this on your taxes. If you have purchased work boots in 2022 to go out and do your job, save that receipt, because those work boots are tax deductible. If You bought special coveralls for working outside for this past year. Those are tax deductible. If you had to buy your own paintbrushes, those things are tax deductible. I would recommend going to, and of course I like to be on the cheap, go to the Dollar Tree, get you a couple of these. I think there's 2 or 3 in a pack for $1.25. Write receipts on it. 2022, this year we're going to start into 2023. Receipts for that. If you need to keep it in your car, your work truck, whatever. I would put on there too, do not touch, do not throw away. So your significant other, your spouse, your children, hopefully will not throw this in the garbage. But this is a very important thing to keep your receipts in here. And of course, my receipt for my Pro 93 t-shirts would go in here for 2022 to be ready to take to my tax provider. These are very important. You can count off those things that are considered a normal, necessary expense for your business. Me cleaning, I could probably not buy a whole bunch of paint brushes and hammers and a scaffolding and all of that because I'm a cleaner. That would not count for those type of items. But if you are working as a plumber, as all of your materials that you need for plumbing, if you're a painter, if you are a builder and you need a hammer, a level, tape measure, saws, all that is considered part of the tools that you will need. All of those receipts have to be kept. The main thing with the IRS is they need documentation. They want to say, chances are you might or might not get audited, but they want to see that and make sure you have those. And you need to take it to your tax professional. They will request these items to help you in the best way to save money on your taxes. You can also count things that maybe you've had to go to a class to learn. I don't know if there's any kind of classes that would help you on building or painting or anything like that, but any of those things that will help you, any apps that you download that you have to pay for that'll help you keep all of this, these things easier, anything that you buy, the envelopes that you buy are also tax deductible. You could count your vehicle and the expenses of your vehicle separately instead of mileage. You have an either or type deal. But they say if you only make like 50, 60,000 or less, it's probably better to do the mileage than your vehicle. Because with the vehicle, it gets into depreciation, it gets into different things. How much do you drive it? If you do have a vehicle that's just specifically for work, it'll be fine and probably better to count those. If you have a truck that you just use for painting and plumbing and whatever else you do, by all means, put all of that in your insurance, anything that goes along with your truck, your taxes, your title, anything like that can of course go into reducing your taxes. But if you're using it partly for work, partly for pleasure, or going up and picking the kids up from school, you might as well just count the mileage that I had mentioned earlier. You will need to make sure that you bring all of your 1099s from whomever you've worked for. In cleaning, I have jobs that are separate from Pro 93. I have Pro 93 jobs, which the 1099 helps me with knowing what to do. My personal jobs would be these amounts here. And then I also clean for a local church. That local church would send me a 1099. These are all things that you'll need to take with you when you go to your tax preparer. Also, if you have children, there's numerous forms that you'll have to take for that. Everybody's ID, and most of you probably know all of those items that you'll need to take for that. What they will be doing is putting this on a 1040 form. They will also be using what they call a Schedule C. That Schedule C is for all of these things that I've mentioned, for mileage, for your health insurance. If you do this on your own, you can go to something like Tax Act, pay $30 or $40 and do it all yourself. It's usually self-explanatory. It asks you questions of things that you can use and type in, like your mileage, like your insurance, but you're going to have to figure all of that out and do quite a bit of math. So the easiest part is to make sure you have all these things together so that you can take it to your tax provider. H&R Block will do it. I think there's one called Jackson Hewitt. Different places like that will help you with this. But the main thing is getting it together and keeping things up to date throughout the year. And that's why I'm here to help you to know what you can take off. So we've got mileage, we've got insurance, we've got tools, membership, apps, marketing and advertising. If you have business cards separate from Pro 93 that you've had to pay for, then those would count also. Any kind of fees that you've incurred that will help grow your business, help grow what you were doing, is very important to keep. Also, if you've opened up a credit card to pay for your tools and you have interest on the credit card, you can also count that interest on your taxes. If you've had to rent a tool, now not renting it and letting Pro 93 pay for it, but renting it on your own with your own money, you can also count that on your taxes. So these are just a few things that I wanted to share with you about the things that you may need and keep up with throughout the year. It's a little tricky, it's a little hard, but the main thing is most of the things that you will need to know and have are your 1099s. If you're just working for Pro 93, you need your 1099 from Pro 93. You need all of your mileage throughout the year. And also any other things, if you have your health care insurance through the marketplace or through another provider, or if you have specific business insurance, you will need to have those top items. But like I said, if you're a Pro 93 contractor, what you'll need is your 1099, your mileage, and any health care items that you pay for, and any tools or apps or anything to help you with your business. So I wanted to share a few of this. I only did the video because so many people have asked about what do I do, what can I claim. There are many other things that you can claim if you are an actual business owner. So if you have any extra business that is outside of Pro 93 that you do on the side that you need to claim taxes on, if you'll see me, I'll make another part of the video, because you can also claim part of your cell phone, part of your home if you use a home office. Those type things are also part of tax deductible items. I hope this helps, and I thank you very much.